SeizYourBusiness.com podcast with Tony Rourke and Kevin O'Flaherty.
SeizYourBusiness.com, making you money. Share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn, Twitter, our blogs, YouTube videos. Listen to our podcast, getting so hot that it's burning up the stereo.
Welcome to SeizYourBusiness.com podcast. I'm Scott Mathis with Plateau Topeka Consulting, and this is EJ.
EJ Johnson with Liliana Properties, and we are joined today
by Carla Merlak.
I didn't want to chop it up. I know how I tend to chop up last names.
And what's your company name?
Merlak Tax Advisory Group.
Oh, okay.
Merlak Tax Advisory Group. So, what is that? What do you do?
Well,
what is the
we
company?
are the home of the $69 tax return, no hidden fees, and that includes Schedule C for self-employed, which we'll talk a little bit about today.
Okay.
And even if you have investment properties, that's inclusive also. We also do S-Corps and LLCs on a smaller business scale.
Oh, nice.
For the $69 or?
No, that is $125 for that. That's
Okay.
a separate fee.
Oh, how long you been doing that?
Well, I've been in the financial industry for almost 20 years and almost 10 in the tax preparation and advisory.
Oh, okay.
And you were saying earlier, you're not a CPA, but you have them there that do that, and you're drawing from your business background and experience to help people decide where to go
Correct.
or what to do.
Correct.
So, what does a typical customer or client look like for you? What do you like?
Well, I had quite a background being self-employed myself. I had a cleaning business for almost 10 years. And I grew it into a fairly large organization. We had, over 350,000 gross in a year. So it really gave me a good background on Schedule C, self-employed, and write-offs and the government. My main focus is to make sure that you pay the least amount in tax and keep the most amount in your pocket.
Oh, God. I love rebels against the government. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
So, what can you not? Do you have any thoughts on a funny story or anything about somebody that tried to write something off or wanted to, or what's your typical crazy thing people go, can I write off my
What's the best write-off? That's
Whatever.
what
Yeah.
it is.
What's
They
the
always
funny?
ask, can I write off my pet? But I say no.
But it's therapeutic.
I know. I do get people that try to exaggerate and force some issues, and there's been a couple that I've turned away. We do almost 1,000 returns a year, and that's growing. So I do get broad exposure to a variety of businesses and financial situations. And I would say, the most important thing is just keeping track, keeping good records.
Sure.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, do you have to keep every receipt or?
Yep, that's a big part of it. And I think we'll back up a step if that's all right.
Sure.
That you could be the best in the world at doing something. Say you're the best painter, and you want to go off on your own. Well, it's a whole lot different owning a business than just being a good painter.
Oh, okay.
So what comes with it? How do you get clients? You got to market.
You market yourself.
Yep.
Yourself out promotion.
Yeah. So what if you're not a good speaker, right? You probably need a business coach.
Yeah.
Sure.
You need a website. You need somebody to help.
Is that something that you offer? That you're saying that's something that you?
Well, through the years, I've affiliated myself with a lot of other professionals so that my clients get the very best in service.
Interesting. So you provide that service as well as the accounting, helping people
She has
with
in the
business
past.
coaches, or you have,
Yeah.
or you?
Yeah, she has.
I mean, I believe that every business owner needs an accountant.
First.
They need an attorney, and they need a business coach. And you may aspire to be the best, marketer.
Sure,
But you know
right.
what? When it comes down to it, if you have a painting job that needs to get done, where are you going to be? Painting.
Yeah, painting. You're gonna be there.
Yeah.
And then where's your next job? You forgot to call the 5 people that called in, right?
Very true.
And once you do become a business owner, then you have to decide. Most people start as Schedule C, self-employed.
What does that mean, Schedule C? You keep saying that for the normal person out there. What does that mean? Schedule C.
It's part of your personal tax return. and you have a business.
Okay.
Some people think, well, you know what, I didn't really make much money, or I only get paid cash. They don't claim it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's to your advantage to claim what you've made. Even if you're just researching a business, you should keep track of all the expenses, all the mileage, any classes you take. Say you want to become a realtor. It costs quite a bit just to get a real estate license. That's tax deductible. And it's okay if you have a business loss.
Ooh,
But eventually you have
it's very
to show
interesting.
profit.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You do? What if you never do? What if you always don't make money? You never make any money.
Well, at some
Can you
point,
keep
then
writing
you
it up?
have to cut your losses now. You know, rule of thumb is 3 years
Yeah.
if you show a loss, and that you're going to have to start turning a profit. But you do need to, even if you have income and still show a loss, if somebody's paid you, larger companies, if your job is maybe 600 or more, somebody might give you a 1099.
Sure.
And that's something that is reported to the IRS, so you do have to claim it.
Sure.
But I have some people, maybe they do daycare out of their home. They don't think of claiming it. It could be to their advantage to claim it. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
always good. And this is what tax advisory is about.
Sure.
Come in, meet with me. It's a complimentary consultation to see if you are proceeding in the right direction.
Oh.
Then when you do have a Schedule C on your taxes, you actually put the type of business that you have, the income, your expenses, and bottom line, a profit or a loss.
Sure. And so Schedule C is just a way of defining that you have a business, but you don't. It's not incorporated or anything like that. So it's just a sole proprietorship, I suppose.
Yes, that would be self-employed.
that's what a Schedule C is.
Sole
Gotcha.
proprietor.
Okay.
Now, as you grow your business, you might find that there's certain advantages to becoming a corporation, incorporating,
Sure.
or a limited liability corporation. I have worked with Kevin O'Flaherty, some of my clients, where they can guide that person in the best structure for their business.
Sure.
Okay.
That requires a separate tax filing, typically by March 15th. And then if there's profits, that passes on to your personal return when you file that by April 15th.
Sure.
The benefit there is that you're avoiding that self-employment tax, which gets everybody at 15.3%, which is basically you're paying into Social Security and Medicare.
Okay.
So where's your company located?
We're at 83 in North Avenue in Elmhurst. Yes, it's just east of 83, 2 blocks on the north side.
Sure.
Everybody seems to know the Delta Sonic Car Wash, so we're across the street from there.
The back to the other for a minute. What is the craziest thing you've seen somebody try to write off? You never really said. It's just somebody came in and they wanted to write off, I don't know, their Fruit Loops, or I don't know. What is the craziest thing somebody's tried to write off?
Oh, I have one gentleman. I don't know where he gets his expenses, but he claims they're documented, and my job is just to make sure that they're documented.
Right.
Okay.
And when the IRS,
Do you have to see the documentation, or just they say it and you trust that they did it?
yeah,
and you-
usually it's in written form,
Yeah.
so it can be even on a napkin as long as it's
Sure.
signed by them, But if you want to write off like 80,000 miles of driving,
Yeah.
which sounds extreme,
Yes,
at
where-
56
Where is he going?
cents a mile, exactly. So you have a 40,000 plus deduction just for mileage. That could be a red flag.
It could be. Is
But-
he a taxi driver?
Well, he is a delivery driver,
Oh, well.
so it's possible.
Maybe.
And
I guess they could check mileage pretty easy too,
Yes.
though, right? So that would be one that would be easily caught.
yes, exactly.
It's funny.
So when you
And-
first started, were you alone? Did you already have a group set up, or?
Actually started the practice on my own.
Oh wow.
And I started in the financial services, and I really work with the blue collar and white collar worker that doesn't have a whole lot of guidance
Yeah.
on strategizing for retirement.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, I realized how important taxes
Really,
can
huh?
impact, a return. And when somebody, especially is in retirement, it looks a whole lot different than when they're working.
Very true. Very true.
And my first goal was to educate myself.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I was a pretty smart person, but nobody ever really taught me. Where do you get the information other than somebody that wants business from you?
Sure.
So by getting all my licenses, I was able to educate myself and then chose to share that with others.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tax advisory is being proactive, coming in whenever you have a life event, a marriage, a death, a divorce, a child, buying a home, selling a home. So you don't want that surprise in March or April that you find you owe the IRS, right?
I understand that.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest mistakes, and it happens with a lot of business owners, is they take their retirement savings to start their business.
Yeah. I know people that have done that.
Yeah. And what happens if you're under 59 and a half?
You take a huge penalized bad.
Yes. And there might be alternatives to avoid that. And I think that's where I see some huge mistakes being made. Let's not give up that money to the IRS. That's almost like
Free money.
loan shark money, right? At 33%.
It is. The government's loan sharks.
Yes.
Well, and it's funny. People, you hear them go, I got a big return this year, and they're so excited. It was their money.
Yeah.
They've given it, they get no interest.
All
The other
they're
way,
doing-
they get no interest. And if you do it that way, the government gets interest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
exactly.
it's not really a fair system, I don't
No, not at all.
No, it isn't. But, it can work to an advantage in some respects. I had a lady who had gotten divorced. Her husband was a high income earner, so they never saw a child tax credit or an earned income credit.
Oh, wow.
These are huge. So now she's forced to go out and work. She made $18,000, has 3 kids to claim, and
She's getting everything back.
yes, she had a refund of $7,000,
Mhm.
and she cried tears of joy in my office because she needed a car. Her car was on its last leg.
Oh, wow.
know. Yeah.
And that would have been nice for her to know in October, November that money was coming,
Sure.
because she wouldn't have waited till March to file her taxes.
So I guess that's one thing we need to let all the single moms out there know. You can get $7,000. You just come
See me?
You get a car. She's giving away cars.
I do my very
That
best.
could be your
to make-
advertisement.
Yes.
We're giving away cars.
Yes. I make
No
sure that
promises.
everybody gets
No,
what
you
they're
got to
doing.
read the fine print.
Yes, exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. My little brother came to live with me once, and I forget how long. I think it's 2 years, and I claimed on my taxes. I couldn't believe the substantial amount I got back just from him. I'm like, this has to be something that's.
Can you claim a dependent no matter how old they are and write them off?
Yeah,
They're not working, correct?
right. They have to make under the $3,900,
Mm-hmm.
and you
It
can
was
claim
something
them.
like that.
So
A
if
bartending job.
if you were only making $3,900 and you wanted to come live with me, I could write you off. What do you get out of that? What's the
An extra deduction.
Yeah.
So usually you get $3,900 for
Mhm.
yourself times 2 now,
So it's like,
and
yeah.
you can be head of household depending on the age of that person. So that gives you another extra credit.
So they still do head a household.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have somebody living with you that's under 18, then you may get the child tax credit also,
Wow.
which is $1,000. So, it really racks up very quickly.
yeah?
And
Sounds like it.
Many
Sure.
times people don't understand that.
Now, and what's your biggest? What would be your a piece of advice to give someone about taxes that they could take with them that people miss or
For the elderly people, medical expenses. Most people, when they're employed, they have benefits at work. But once they become retired, they have Medicare, they have a supplement, they have other out-of-pocket costs. And they don't realize if they do itemize, which is Schedule A, that typically they have real estate taxes, charitable,
Yeah.
and they get sales tax. So if you purchase a car, you could deduct the sales tax. And then medical. And medical is such a broad term because it includes mileage to and from your doctor's appointment. What if you had to go to Mayo Clinic and you stayed over? All that mileage travel, even airfare is deductible.
Oh, wow.
Your hotel room, your meals.
Really?
If you had to go through chemo and you needed a wig, the wig is deductible. If you had to put ramps in your house because now you're wheelchair bound, that's deductible. So, yeah, there's a lot there that people don't realize.
That's a lot to
It
deduct.
is.
The
Yeah.
wheelchair, everything, the ramp.
Yeah, I had
So
one.
how do you have that conversation with somebody the first time that sits down, and how do you get to the point where you find out they stuck in a wheelchair ramp and bought a wig? I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Isn't that the truth?
so how do you get there? How do you
So
do?
they basically, it sounds like they just deducted their life. Like,
No,
not-
but I
not
mean, how
straight
does she
life.
get? How do you find that out? Because when you sit down with somebody, you don't. What do you
I know.
ask? Hey, have you added any
Yeah, it
ramps?
looks
Have
like
you
you
got
have
any
a wig
wigs?
on.
Is that a wig? Got cancer? What do you? You know.
That would be kind of funny. Hey,
Yeah,
this is a wig.
Yeah.
So how
The
do
short
you?
one.
Do you have a questionnaire, or do you have
Yes.
a form, and it leads you in that direction? That
Correct.
my accountant has something like that every year. Did you buy any more cars or trucks or
Yeah.
any kids or any not buy the kids, have kids,
Right,
whatever.
have kids, yeah.
You could buy them too, I guess. Adoption, yeah, sure. But so you have a questionnaire that leads them through there, so the process isn't too painful to just sit
Correct.
down and.
What I find, and maybe you've realized this too, say you were going to do a will or a trust or get your taxes done. If somebody sends you 30 pages to fill in,
Yeah.
you probably aren't going to do it.
No, but most likely about halfway through, you just kind of slow down.
Exactly.
Like,
And it
I'll do the
doesn't
rest
make
tomorrow.
sense to you. So most appointments are a 2-appointment process at my office, especially if you're new. We're going to have an interview appointment and then a pickup appointment.
Okay.
So I start with the easy questions. And some aren't even that easy to somebody. Do you have a W-2?
Yeah.
What's that? Is that this thing?
This is form here.
Yeah.
It says W2 on top.
Yeah.
It's
I
on
know,
the
right?
left. No, it's in the right corner.
And then most of them come in
Top
without the envelopes opened. Okay, so I have
Oh,
to
so
open
they didn't
envelopes.
open the
That's
envelope.
part of the $69. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
The
we
envelope
start
opening.
with income. Then we do deductions. Do you own a home? Did you pay property tax? Then I move into the medical. So now I've kind of got their guard down.
Yeah.
And I've built a rapport with
Sure,
them where
trust.
they're willing to discuss those things. And then we go through, do you pay for your own insurance? Did you have any
Okay.
medications you pay for out of pocket? Were there any other things, So it's a conversation rather than just a
Yeah.
questionnaire that they're filling out.
They build their trust and then you slowly ease into it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually by the end of that, we've uncovered quite a bit about them.
Okay.
And even if the prior year, which we're doing the taxes for, they didn't have those issues, they know what to plan for the upcoming year.
And so, does that mean that a good percentage of your clients are also repeat clients each year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. We find that everybody comes back to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And on a rare occasion, people do want to just drop off, which we allow,
Mhm.
but we want to make sure that they didn't have any major changes in their life.
Right.
And some people go, oh, no, nothing changed. Oh, and I see a new address on their W-2. Call them. Oh, yeah, we did move. And then they'll say,
Something changed.
yeah, we had a kid. Oh, that's
changed too.
minor detail.
Sorry.
Right.
And kids are expensive, so yeah. I
Yes,
can
they
understand
are.
that part, yeah.
And one thing I was going to mention is that people fear going to the IRS website. It's really good, though, nowadays, okay? So if you go to irs.gov, there's resources, and say you're contemplating starting a business. It has great links for small business and self-employed with videos. They'll take you out to YouTube and basically talk you through each step of the way.
Oh, wow.
And people that don't want to do it on their own come and see me and ask their questions, and then I answer
And then
them.
you do it.
Yes, exactly.
That approach sounds so much more easier and so much more faster.
Yeah. And the thing is, people don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I've found so
That's
many.
very true.
Isn't it true?
It is.
You know, even if you're doing TurboTax, which is a great software system, you know, there's so many questions they ask you. You're like, what are they talking about? I don't think I had that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that especially for those who are a small business owner
Right.
and self-employed, it's very hard to keep track of your expenses. You're a plumber and you're driving from job to job and you're sweating in this 90 plus degrees and 90% humidity.
Sure.
Do you really care about going home and doing paperwork? Probably not.
Probably not.
No. So I
You
say,
just want to go home and get out of the heat.
exactly. So I say, you know, this at the simplest thing, put an envelope in your vehicle and put all your receipts in there. Also keep some kind of log of where you go for your mileage. And at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, and hopefully not at the end of the year, because you'll have a lot of receipts, but you sort it and do it by a category rather than a month.
Yeah.
You know, I don't particularly care how much you spend per month, but I want to know how much you spend on advertising, how much you spend on meals and entertainment.
What about
How
clothes? Clothes?
Work clothes, yes, if they're related to your
This new
job.
suit needed. I
Yes,
had to get it.
yeah. Shoes.
What about lunches while you're working?
Not deductible unless you're away, like for a convention or something.
Out of
But
state.
yeah, but if you took somebody to lunch that was a potential client, now
And couldn't anyone be a potential client?
Yeah, pretty
yes,
much.
they could.
Pretty much, depending on what.
Document it. Keep that receipt and write on there who you were with.
Yeah.
And that's the important part of it. So, what other unusual expenses? You know, everybody's business is different. Say you had to buy subscriptions, publications, magazines to keep up on time. You're a home flipper and you want to keep up on what's going on. Those subscriptions can be deductible.
Oh, wow.
How about your cell phone? Now, you want to know how much it is per month and then estimate how much you use for business. Is it 100%, 70%, 50%? And then that's deductible. Internet at home, if you use it for research, how much is your internet and how much would you use towards your business? So business use of home doesn't necessarily mean anymore that you have to have clients coming to your house.
Sure.
But if you have a room exclusively for your business, that percentage of all your utilities can be deducted. And then your vehicle. of
What if
course,
it's just a
might-
corner of the room? You said a room dedicated. So what if it's just a desk in the corner? Does it have to be a room or does it
It
matter?
is supposed to be a separate room. So
Interesting.
build a wall
They're
if
picky.
you're
Build a
getting
wall.
audited.
Can I just get a partition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
partition.
One of those room
Partition,
dividers.
yeah.
Just partition it off.
Exactly.
One of those
That's
Chinese
that.
shades.
Yes.
Stick it up there.
That would work
Look,
too.
it's separated.
So it's separated, exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
And then there's extra incentive for people that do daycare out of their home and things like that.
Okay.
What about insurances, right? You need insurance. Sometimes you need, like in my profession, I have errors and omissions insurance. Maybe you need bonding if you work in certain counties, if you're a tradesperson. All those expenses, materials that you buy, you want to keep track of it. So there are certain advantages to being self-employed, and there are certain others that can be a detriment.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is nobody's withholding tax for you, right? So at the end of the year, if you do have a profit, even if you come out to zero income, you still say that you make $10,000. The IRS gives you standard deduction, and your exemption is $10,000 roughly. So you're at zero. but you still owe self-employment tax on that $10,000, which is $1,500.
$1,500.
Yep. So you've got to plan for that. And I want to encourage anybody too that if they are behind with the IRS or behind in filing their returns, it's not too late. The IRS is working with people. The worst thing you can do is ignore them.
Yes.
Because you will get nasty letters. And eventually they will seize your bank accounts. And I've had several people that's happened to.
Oh, wow.
So by a phone call, I had a gentleman who hadn't filed since 2003, 11 years of returns. Kentucky, he was an over-the-road driver.
Mhm.
He had Kentucky, where he lived at that time, asking for $26,000 from him, and the IRS wanted close to $40,000. Well, we filed every return. We negotiated with Kentucky. I was on the phone with him. He ended up owing them $3,600,
Not too bad. Not bad
No.
at all.
and he set up a payment plan. And then the IRS, we got it down to about $16,000, and he set up a payment plan. So at least that monkey's off his back. How would you have liked to have gone 11 years
Mhm.
with them threatening to, seize your
Seize
account?
Surprised they let him go that long.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
That's a long time to let him ride out.
Yes, it is.
Let him just do his thing.
Yeah.
Well,
But his quality of life is so much better.
I can imagine. Well, Carla, what's a good way for people to get a hold of you if they want to contact you?
First, you can find out more about my business at www.merlak, MERLAK, tax.biz, B-I-Z. You can,
And we'll put that on the podcast at the bottom so they can find
Perfect.
that too. So
Okay.
That'll be easier.
Yes,
Go ahead,
email
then.
us at merlaktax@gmail.com or call us at 630-532-5986. And I do offer the complimentary consultation, 2-year review of taxes. I've uncovered a lot of extra money.
Going backwards.
Got a gentleman $6,000 back. So he was pretty happy with that.
I can imagine.
Yep. His ex-wife didn't claim the daughter, and she was in college, and the wife had no income, the ex-wife, so he was able to claim his daughter and get the college credit. So he was
Nice.
pretty excited about it.
Very nice.
Yes.
That is nice.
So for $69 to get $6,000 back, would you be pretty happy?
Oh, yeah. That's a surprise check right there.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by and having this with us. And
I appreciate you having me
do you have a
here.
phone number they could reach you at? Did you get
Yes, and I'll just repeat it again.
Oh, okay. You did do it. Okay.
630-532-5986.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.